Let's review contractions with not. Remember, a contraction is a form of two words put together to form one word. When we form the contraction with not, we get rid of the O and replace it with an apostrophe. I'm going to read the sentence, and I want you to tell me what the contraction is. Mom doesn't eat rice. What is the contraction? Doesn't. They aren't going home together. Aren't is the contraction. I want us to try to write a contraction. So if I give us did not, how could I write that then? To be didn't. D-I-D-N apostrophe T. Let's try one more. We're going to do is not. We want to make it into isn't. So tell me, how can I write it? Or how do I write it? I-S-N apostrophe T. Again, notice we got rid of the space and the O. We're going to take a look at this example writing. This is by a girl named Lisa. Her prompt says, which breakfast item do you think is the hardest to make? Why? Let's go ahead and read what she thinks. I think, I like that she starts it by saying, I think, that's what she thinks. Bread is the hardest breakfast food to make. It takes many steps to make it. She gives us a reason right away. It takes many steps to make it. First, the farmer grows wheat. Then wheat is crushed into flour. You can notice that she's using some sequencing words to help with explain why she thinks it's hard to make it. It's because it's all those steps. Next, the flour is mixed to make dough. She's using lots of facts from the story. Last, the dough is shaped into loaves and baked. It takes more steps to make bread than jam or juice. It isn't easy to make bread. Notice she even used a contraction word here in her writing. Let's take a look at the prompt we are going to respond to. Our prompt says, choose one set of the pages. Would you rather have the original item or the finished product for breakfast? Well, let's go ahead and look back in the story and decide which of these we would prefer to write about. So we're going to look at what item we want to pick to describe. We have rather have the beginning or the original. So let's take a look. I think I want to do, because our choices are the wheat into bread, grapes into grape jam, or oranges into orange juice. Let's do the orange juice. I think that will be fun. So I'm going to model how we can do this writing about oranges versus orange juice. Which one would you rather have? So we're going to use evidence from here and here to help decide which we would rather have. So let's go ahead and we'll reread it. It says, orange juice is good for breakfast too. Lots and lots of sun makes oranges big and ripe. They will taste good. Soon the big ripe oranges will get pulled down. Trucks take piles and piles of oranges to a plant. Then they get washed. Next they get crushed. Big sacks get filled with juice. And then I want us to take a look at the chart. So it says it's oranges, and all you have to do is oranges are crushed into juice. That's pretty easy, actually. So let's go ahead and use those ideas here. So we chose the oranges page, so we're going to write oranges down. And we're going to say if we want oranges or orange juice. And we're going to use a fact from the story. Well, when it comes to oranges versus orange juice, it would still be easier just to eat an orange than to crush the orange into juice. So that's one reason why it might be better to do the orange, because all you have to do is cut it instead of having to crush it, because that takes a lot of work and a lot of oranges probably to make the juice. On the other hand, if my own opinion, I want to think about it, is do I like oranges or orange juice more? I really like orange juice more because for me, just going to the store and buying the juice is pretty easy, and then I just have to drink it. But buying the orange, I have to go home and actually cut it. So using that logic, I think I'd rather have orange juice, and that's because I can just drink it. I don't have to cut the orange juice because I don't have to cut it up. Don't need to cut. And there's our notes. So we're going to go ahead and say, so it says, would you rather have, and we're going to say, I would rather have orange, go to the next line, some out of space, juice. And we're going to say because I do not, oh, but I don't have to say do not. Actually, I'm going to help me figure that out in a second. I do not need to cut the oranges. Okay, there's our answer. So I do want you to help me fix this because do not, I can make into a contraction. How could I say that instead? It'd be don't. Can you help me write it so it's don't? D-O-N apostrophe T. So I don't need to cut the oranges up because when you go to the store, you can just buy orange juice. And so I'd rather have orange juice because I don't need to cut the oranges up. So it's much easier to drink juice than to cut the oranges up and eat it. That's just my opinion. Maybe you have a different opinion.